Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Breeze Toys and Games. I'm only going to do 2 videos this week. I apologize for being a little flaky this past couple of weeks. Been, job-related stuff and personal stuff. I had my birthday last week and other stuff, so been kind of busy. So this video is just a quick little rundown, if you will, on my reasons why I'm not going to watch Transformers 1, and I may not buy any of the toys from the Transformers 1 toy line either. So, just quickly, first of all, let's talk about the movie real quick. Number one, if you've been following my channel or following me on social media for any length of time, you already know that I'm not a huge fan of cartoons. I can get into an animated film on a very rare occasion. Like the last animated film that I actually enjoyed was Shrek 2. That's a long ass time ago. Okay? So I'm not, when I see something as animated, it's a cartoon, it registers in my brain as in, I'm not interested. Now, yeah, I've got ties to the classic 86 cartoon because that's what I grew up with and I've got the nostalgia, but also that one was a little bit different. It's not a damn Disney film and it's not a damn Michael Bay, you know what I mean? Which brings me to my second reason why I'm not that interested in this Transformers 1 is because by and large I have not enjoyed the live-action Transformers movies. And I know this one isn't live-action, but it's supposed to take place in the live-action universe. Now, I did enjoy Bumblebee and the 2007 Transformers movie, but that's it. Out of the entire franchise, those are the only two I liked. And listen, I'm the target demographic. I love Transformers. The toys, the characters, the cartoons, the comics, video games, everything. And I'm just not interested in the Bayverse. Just not at all. Third reason, I really didn't care for the Netflix War for Cybertron trilogy that much. I didn't hate it, but it was like, to me, it was too serious, too sci-fi, I guess, if you will. I shouldn't say too sci-fi, but just too dark and gloomy for, the original Transformers cartoon and the ones that I've enjoyed since then, which are, I'm more inclined to like a Transformers cartoon than anything else, to be fair, I'll admit. But the ones I did like were like 2001 Car Robots, Robots in Disguise, or, Armada, Cyberverse, the more cartoony cartoons, which I know is alright. To be fair, contradictory to what I normally like, because the normal cartoons that I do enjoy are things like Exo Squad, or X-Men the Animated Series, or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, although, again, I prefer the classic 87 TMNT because that's what I grew up with. So, I have mixed feelings when it comes to animation in general. I don't hate animation as a medium or format. I'm not just, averse to it because it's a cartoon, per se. Although I do prefer live action for various reasons. But when I see something as a cartoon, my first instinct is not that interested. I have to be convinced. And so far I haven't been convinced. Now that's why I'm not interested in the film. Let's talk a little bit about the toys. The toys are basically, ever since, at least since the introduction of War for Cybertron, Siege, Kingdom, Earthrise, and everything since then, since they killed Cyberverse, everything that they've been doing, I have not been a fan of. I liked Cyberverse toys way more than I liked the War for Cybertron toys. I have a few, Siege and a couple of Earthrise toys and 2 or 3 Kingdom toys because I'd rather pay $20 for a Kingdom Beast Wars figure versus $30-$40 for a vintage Beast Wars figure when I'm not that interested in Beast Wars in the first place. But the truth is, I didn't really like the Siege cartoon or any of the War for Cybertron cartoon, and I just don't like those hollow plastic, you know, they're over articulated. Now I'm okay with you know, some articulation in my Transformers. I'm not anti-articulation, but I want a solid, good quality toy more than I want a action figure. You know, I care more about the sculpt of the robot and the aesthetic of the alt mode. And at least since War for Cybertron, the toys have been too fucking light for me. They're too flimsy, they're too light, they're too plasticky. I don't like them. You know, I grew up in the 80s. You know, I grew up with G1 toys. You know, that heavy ass, thick as fuck plastic that you can't break with a hammer. You know, where these toys, if you sneeze on them wrong, they break in half. Get out. You know, and yeah, the articulation's nice and the transformations are complex, but the toys are too goddamn light for me. Give me a sturdy fucking toy. I'll pay $30 for what is currently the $20 class of toy. Bump it up to $30. I'll pay the $30 if that gets me, you know, a solid plastic fucking toy. You know what I mean? And I've seen the Earth Spark and the Legacy United, and I've seen some of the Transformers 1 toys. They're all the same fucking toy. They just keep repainting the goddamn thing. I mean, it's literally... how many times have they released Orion packs? It's just Cup. Repainted. Give me a goddamn break. Jesus fucking Christ, Hasbro. No wonder nobody's buying your shit. You're going to keep selling the same toy over and over and over? I'm not buying it 12 times. God damn. Fucking assholes. So, I'm not going to give you shit. If you are hyped for Transformers 1 and you want to buy the toys, go for it. I am not going to be buying Transformers 1 toys unless I see something that really jumps out at me. Like, I know, okay, let's go back to Cyberverse. They were a flimsy plastic as well. And they weren't as articulated as the Siege stuff. But you know why I liked them better? Because they had that retro aesthetic. And I know that's contradictory because people argue that the Generations line, which is what Siege falls under, it's the Generations brand, you know, the high-end collector brand. Well, not the mid-grade collector brand. The high-end brand is Masterpiece. But because they're based on the G1 Season 1 cartoon alt modes. But here's the thing. The toys are... They are based on the G1 toys. Yes, they are. And that's what I don't like about them. I like the Cyberverse or Armada or, you know... Even, you know, like my favorite toy line is Car Robots 2001. You know, that's my favorite Transformers toy line because the toys were different, unique. You know, I already have an Ironhide that turns into a minivan. I don't need 6 of them. Give me an Ironhide that turns into a dump truck. Give me an Ironhide that turns into a fucking, you know, I don't know, a bulldozer or a fucking, you know, a tank or a Hummer. Give me something different, goddammit. I'm sick of buying the same fucking toy all the time. And that's why I like Cyberverse, because even though they were loosely based on their G1, you know, alt modes, they weren't like, you know, it was like, okay, yeah, Prowl was a cop car, but he wasn't like this, he wasn't a sports car dressed up like a cop car. He was just a standard issue cop car. You know, whereas with the Generations line, they issue a Prowl, he's got to look like the G1 toy. I don't like that. My favorite toy of Prowl is, again, the 2001 Robots in Disguise Car Robots Prowl. You know, from that line. Because that's, you know, he's like a Lamborghini. You know, it's like different. You know, it's like, it's a different Transformer. You know? And what I really liked about Cyberverse is they were reminiscent of the G1 cartoon and comic book, but they weren't trying to recreate the G1 cartoon and comic book. You know? So they were still, like, kind of cartoony. They were still flimsy plastic, but they weren't as hollow as the Siege. They weren't as rubbery. That's the word I'm looking for. Rubbery as the Siege toys, you know? Still a bit cheap on the plastic for my taste, but like I said, not as rubbery, not as, not as, I guess, bendy? I don't know. I don't like, Siege, or Cyberverse was the last Transformers toy line I got excited for. And I've really enjoyed some of the ones in previous years, like Titans Returns, Power of the Primes, but even those ones I had limited interest in because they were just G1 toys with new designs, but they were, if you buy a Titans Returns or a Power of the Primes or a Studio Series or a Siege or a Generations, you're getting basically the same fucking toy. Just slightly different molding, different paint job, different packaging, but it's like 90% the same goddamn toy. It uses the same transformation, the same sculpt, the same head, the same, articulation. It might come with different weapons, or they might, one might have battle damage, whereas another one might have, like, more broader shoulders or something like that. Minuscule differences. But if you take any of the Generations toys and put them on a shelf, side by side with any other Generations counterpart, it's the same fucking toy. And I'm goddamn sick of it. And I've seen 2 of the Bayverse Transformers I liked. The original 2007, if I was giving it a star rating, I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5. And Bumblebee, which I would probably give a 4.5 out of 5. The rest of them, 1 star. All of them, across the board, 1 star. So I'm not interested in the Bayverse timeline that much. I'm not interested in getting goddamn stuck in 1984. I grew up with the 87, 88 Transformers, the Power Masters, the Pretenders, the Action Master. Well, not the Action Masters, but the Headmasters. Give me those. Give me new toys. Let's make a brand new, totally articulated, redesign Pretenders line or Headmasters line. I'll buy that. You know what I'm not going to buy? Another fucking Ironhide. Another fucking Prowl. Another goddamn Starscream. Jesus fucking Christ.